Hello everyone and welcome back to the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series. Can the best get any better? Nino Schurter going for glory here today. Mairiporã, just as he does at every single race. We've had an incredible weekend of racing in Brazil to kick things off. And there is one last big one to come. Elite men's cross country Olympic UCI World Cup racing in this Olympic year at the stunning circuit here in the IMTB Bike Park outside Sao Paulo, Brazil. This track at its very, very fastest. Plenty of drama in the elite women's race just past. Plenty of intrigue. But let's remind ourselves of how the GOAT got on last time out. One of the performances of his career, Lenzerheide, saw him become the most successful UCI World Cup elite men's racer of all time. Val di Sole Trentino wasn't exactly bad either. Schurter, 2 wins last season, 35 career UCI World Cup victories, and the overall title held aloft in Mont-Saint Anne, Canada, what feels like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but was actually a lot longer. Very different circumstances as well. 27 degrees Celsius here today, 86% humidity, so not as bright as it was yesterday, but extremely humid. Let's check out how the first UCI Cross Country Short Track World Cup of the year went down yesterday. Remind ourselves of really short track racing at its absolute best. There was almost a false start. Lucas Schwarzbauer, absolutely no falsifying his reserves of power. The big German short track overall title holder from last season got to the front. And looked extremely comfortable out there. He was followed by Jordan Sarrou. Consummate all-rounder. Victor Koretsky in that new retro kit from Specialized. There's Mateusz Flukiger, had a good dig as well. But Martin Vidari, the Chilean youngster, didn't see as much of him as we would have liked last season, but this year he looks like he may just be a regular fixture. The UCI short track world champion Sam Gaze in the white and rainbow stripes motored his way to the front as well. You know you are in a battle when Sam Gaze arrives at the front of the race. Big man, big reserves of power. Lucas Schwarzbauer was alongside him and did his best to cover off the gradual increases of speed, but when Gaze goes, it's a difficult man to live with. Schwarzbauer, though, try to put him to the sword up this climb. And just checked behind him. Sarrou moved across Gaze. Koretsky as well. 4 wins at the end of last season for the big Frenchman from Specialized. But when they came onto the start-finish line, it was Gaze who was in front. And when you've got a sprint like that, there is usually only one winner. Sam Gaze had a tumultuous few weeks on the run into this one. Lucas Schwarzbauer gifting the Canyon Bike Company the next print ad. So there are the results. Sam Gaze, Schwarzbauer, Vidari, Koretsky. A bit of afters between those two, which we'll talk about a bit later in the show. Litcher, Dubove, Sarrou, Schurter. So Sam Gaze currently leads the UCI World Cup overall. And here is the man himself.
Sam Gaze, that was a statement. Mate, tell us about that race in the bands, number one.
Yeah, it's been a really difficult couple of weeks. Really hard to focus on my job at some points, but you know, to come out here and put together a good performance. Yeah, I knew the start was super critical for me, and luckily, you know, a lot of the time I don't get lucky, but today I have to say I got lucky in the start loop. And then from there, it was just trying to recover best I could before moving forward. Yeah, the heat is such a factor here, and the intensity of it for the first short track. Yeah, feels like I swallowed a glass full of glass. But no, I'm super happy. Good signs for the next 2 weeks. This has no relation really to the cross country, so yeah, I'll still see how that goes, but right now I can be happy with a good start.
It's a great start. We saw you and Luca having some words. Were you working together or a bit of argy-bargy there?
No, Luca is a great guy. We sort of found a bit of a partnership and just trying to, you know, keep the speed how we wanted it to do, and there's a big advantage racing from the front, and you know, as soon as I got there I realised the advantage they had, so we tried to keep it, and then yeah, to be honest, I really don't think it was possible to do the sprint. I was completely on the limit, but obviously everyone else was too, so that's short track racing.
Well, your limit's pretty good. Congratulations, Sam. Well done.
Thank you so much, guys, and yeah, thank you to everyone who supported me to get here. It means a lot. They know who they are, and also, you know, for making a viewing possible in New Zealand and other countries. You know, New Zealand is a great country, a lot of potential mountain biking, so to fly the Fern and be here and then be able to see it is a privilege. So thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the races.
Sam Gaze then got the win, but thousands of fans here to see Nino Schurter. No shortcuts. Nino's signature tattooed on, why not? Well, here's the king and the prince.
I've dreamed about these races for a long time now, and racing the best guys in the world has always been one of my dreams, so yeah, it's a massive opportunity. I would say I've started to train harder for 2 years maybe now, so yeah, it's still very early for me and I've still got so much to improve, but so far I'm quite happy with my progression.
It's a really exciting year coming up to Elite. I still remember myself in his age, like I was then like riding at the Olympic Games, and I think he's for sure a guy where he's able to come to the lead and straight win races, and I think that makes him really dangerous for the big races. We're going into an Olympic year. Everybody is like nervous for qualification, for having best preparation. Yeah, it's for sure you can feel that.
I race to do the best race I can do, and then we will see the results. It's still present, like everyone knows it, but I wouldn't say I race to qualify. I race to do the best race I can do, and then we'll see about that.
It's not my goal really to battle for the overall. I think I wanna pick a few races where I can still battle for the victory. Hopefully add another one, that would be cool. And then, yeah, Olympics, have like the perfect day again and hopefully battle for another medal.
I just want to be the best I can be. It sounds easy, but yeah, I dream about winning the biggest bike races in the world, but I'm also okay that maybe it's not this year and maybe I'm not good enough yet, but I just want to step up my level every race, every day, and try and become as good as I can be this year and next year and the years to come.
I still enjoy to compete, to battle, to feel this atmosphere, the adrenaline, to battle. But I think it's also, I really enjoy the sport. I want to win the races. I still have that passion in me to try to be the best. But I also have like to get into this flow, like in Lenzerheide, where you like really feel you are one with the bike. You hit every corner perfectly. You can accelerate, take the momentum with you, and all to get in this state and feel this moment. You're just like feeling this flow, and then also feel the crowd, the spectators, like be there and like perform on your best, and then for sure like to celebrate.
Now we have it then, the greatest of all time, 37 years young, 10 UCI World Championship titles, going for his 10th overall World Cup title, 35 World Cup wins, 87 World Cup podiums, and I think it works out about 66% podium strike rate across the career for Nino Schurter. He's already an Olympic champion, but he's got another crack this season to become the Golden Goat. Ultimate Evolution Schurter. But here are some of the other big names we're going to be talking about. As Yolanda Neff, she could be there for a few hours yet, working her way around the crowd after a busy elite women's race. Sam Gaze, buoyed by that short track victory earlier on in the weekend. The UCI short track world champion will fancy a good rattle at this one. Jordan Sarrou, deeply embroiled in that battle for the French Olympic spot. Former UCI world champion, and you can never count him out. One of the most consistent racers in the pack. We just heard from him, the man himself, Nino Schurter. It would take us too long to go back through all his palmares, but if there's a bike race and he's in Lycra, the rest of them are in trouble. Adrien Boissy, up 2 years early into the elites. A stellar season under 23 racing last time out, rated by many as the real deal. What can Trinity Racing's youngster do, and can he possibly nick that French Olympic spot? This man rumoured to already be on his way to Paris 2024. Victor Koretsky didn't have it all his way yesterday. His teammate Martin Vidari and him getting involved in a pretty in-depth debrief straight after the climax of that short track race. There's Jordan Sarrou getting ready for action. Fans filling up the IMTB bike park here. There's Vlad Descalu, reigning European champion. But it's not just the riders. Let's check out the bikes.
I really love this bike. We are all the time perfect. It's super nice. I'm Victor Koretsky, riding for Specialized Factory Racing Team. This year we have the brand new Epic 8. The biggest change on the bike this year is the frame. It looked like the same, but all the angle and all the settings are different. We ride with the full transmission of SRAM, 12 speed. I ride with 38 tooth chainring, sometimes 36 or maybe 40 sometimes, so we will see this season. We ride most of the time with 120 of travel front and rear. We have brand new wheels with carbon spokes. We're riding with tire. We are now more close to 2.4, 2.5. I'm around 135 and 1.4 bar. I don't know how much is it in PSI, but I think it's close to 20. The dropper is from Rockfox. I ride with 100 millimeter travel on it. The saddle is from Specialized. We ride the HT component pedals. The brakes are also from SRAM. I ride also with special settings. We have two different bikes on Specialized. We have also the World Cup with less travel on the rear. It depends between the track and the races. It depends also how many jumps you have, routes you have. You need to take the best overall setting on the bike to be the less fatigue at the end of the race. specialists, they do a lot of work on the bike. We feel it straight when we jump on the bike. We work with a retool tool, and they measure all the setting of the bike. So the saddle height, the side angle. So on each bike we have the same settings, and when we jump on the bike is set as a millimeter compared to your training bike or your bike before. So we are all the time perfect on the bike. You have a lot of technology on it. You have everything on Bluetooth, dropper, suspension, derailleur. You need to set everything on the app, on your phone. I love the paint job. It's amazing, and color of team jersey. It matches really well with the kit. It's a super fresh bike. We have all the signature of the athlete on the team. A super nice thing. We've got the best bike on all the teams, so I'm super happy about my bike.
Well, Victor Koretsky's love affair with his new Specialized Epic 8. Understandable, it is a tidy vessel. Jordan Sarrou continuing attempts to cool himself down. Tough to do when it's 80 degrees. Rocking the mullet. Nino Shirt, our first glimpse of him this afternoon, just getting strapped into an ice vest. Let's take a look at the track here in Mairiporã. Absolutely beautiful cross-country Olympic track here. The first round in Brazil. Heads out of the Sports Institute, up a climb, across a really awkward little pump track at the top. Riders have to be inch perfect. The Whoop SpaceX section. There's the first split deep into the lap. Shimano Rock Garden, 3 or 4 massive rock steps taken flat out before heading back into the forest again, looping round on itself in that little arena filled with fans. And then a flat out left-hander has to be taken, and then a really fast run down the line, topside at 857 meters, elevation 4.4, or very close to it, kilometers in length. And they are packing themselves in here to see, well, these guys and also Josh Carlson.
We're back for the 2024 Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series. We cannot wait to get stuck into some Carlson on course previews for you this season. And right now, we're here in Brazil. Mairiporã kicks off our cross-country World Cup season. Let's go and get geared up and on course now. So straight out the start lap, we hit our first feed and tech zone in on the right. So all our teams will be lined up quite wide this track. Not a room to move, but there is quite a smooth, somewhat defined race line. Now this is the start of our lap here in Mairiporã. That's easy now when you're fresh. It's fun to put the power down. This is the beginning of your lap. It gets steeper, longer, harder, and this heat really takes the oxygen away from you. Big efforts here early are really going to hurt you later on. So this will be a key part of the race, to be patient, to meter your effort. Remember, this is the start of the lap. A very crucial part that can easily lose you the race. Let's check out the next section. First of our split lines. Whoop. A big factor on this track as we get into the meat of it is these change in directions as all of our men's athletes gets out on course. This fast little descent goes into the steepest pitch we have on the track here. As riders get into this bit, this next mega steep little corner here, you must be in the right position. You have to have the right wheel, because if you drop a wheel there or you wheel spin, that is going to wreck your entire neck time. Look how slow they're going up there, which shows how steep and hard that section is. From here, your placement is crucial as this feeds the entire second half of our track. Now by this stage, feels like we've been climbing the whole time. So as you're about to pop out of the trees, accelerating over this top part, will be a great opportunity to distance your rivals, get a bit of breathing space, because we drop into this super fast. As you pop out of the jungle, we're at the highest point of our cross-country race circuit. It feels like you've been on the rivet the whole time to this point, but now we start to get into our ups and downs, our flows, berms, slight chance to recover, but you still need to be punchy and fast from this point on. We are approaching the biggest descent of our course here. As I said, we're at the top of the hill. Look at the views. This is Brazil. This is beautiful. Our riders won't be able to enjoy it, but we can. A few steps in amongst the spectators. The fans will be fantastic here this weekend. Wow, what a course here in Mairiporã, Brazil, to kick off our 2024 Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series. The racing is going to be spectacular, and we'll see you trackside.
There he is, Australia's ambassador to mountain biking, Josh Carlson, with us all season. Carlson on course, coming at you in 2024, be ready. Nino Scherter just moving through the last bits of his routine.
Phil Dixon, Cannondale Factory Racing Performance Manager. You got some big horses in the lineup today. How do you manage that on such a hot day and such a technical track?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fast track. It's going to be really close racing. I think there's a little bit of an aero component today. We had a good short track with Simon and Charlie. Alan, unfortunately, had a little mechanical, so he's a little bit further back in the field, but maybe that plays off on pacing. I do really think Colin is a critical piece today, but the boys are good to go. We're happy. They've been in the swimming pool yesterday after the race, so we're all good to go, and we're looking forward to it.
Is there a point where they can use team tactics to work together today, or it's just all about just getting in the right position and every man for himself?
I think if they come together, they will try and ride together. We've discussed that. I think it gives a little bit of comfort and strength if they kind of really stick together in the front, and at the back end for sure, if they're together, they can work for each other and name the one that's going to kind of make the move.
Well, good luck to the team. Good luck to all three boys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, Phil Dixon, been to more bike races than most people have had hot breakfast. Let's hear from one of the very best riders in the world racing his 100th UCI World Cup race, Matthias Flukiger. It's down there now.
An amazing achievement to be at a World Cup, yet alone start 100 of them. Matthias Flukiger, congratulations. How does that feel coming into today?
Actually, I recognize it today. It's the 100th World Cup in the elite category, so that's a lot. It doesn't feel so much, but yeah, it's amazing. I have to say it. 100 times nervous like today. That's crazy.
Bit of a tough short track the other day, but you'll be out for vengeance here today in today's very fast and very tactical cross-country race.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good legs yesterday. I struggled a bit in the last 2 laps, and I lost so many positions, actually like 15 positions. So yeah, I'm still confident. Of course, it's not the best for the start today, but anyway, we have 7 laps plus a start lap, so that's a lot. I expect a really long race, so I mean, yeah, a really constant performance today will be the key, and not to go over the limit on the start. So I'm in a little bit in the back of the start field, so probably I can't go over the limit, hopefully. So probably it's even advantage.
Well, congratulations. Thank you, Matthias, and good luck today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
There you go. As I say, one of the big heroes of cross-country racing heads into triple digits. 100 career UCI World Cup starts for Matthias Flukiger. What it would mean to him to go on the podium or even a top step. He's got a few of them already. Conditions out here, the humidity making things extremely tough, up around 80. 6% today. Nino Schurter getting his trademark roar, as he tends to do in just about every corner of the world. Jordan Sarrou, always a danger man, always a threat. One of the best race brains in the business. BMC rider. Joshua Dubois sets off to try and make the difficult second album a success. Had that breakthrough year last time out. Can he go one better than he did this time last year and get a win at the opening round? Well, t-shirt's not wrong. Thomas Litcher, Lapierre Mavic Unity, has already done a bit of winning this season. And there are two men who had a frank exchange of views at the end of the short track race. Benno will have no doubt got them together in the Specialised Factory Racing House and talked it out, or banged their heads together, one of the two. Wait for this noise. Martin Vidari, crowd packed full of Chilean fans. Their opportunity to see their big hero race the national champion. One of the biggest natural talents on the grid. The first round of the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series Cross Country Olympic for the elite men is joined by Lukas Schwarzbauer, one of the big stars of last season, the short track overall title holder. And here's the short track UCI world champion. Sam Gaze has already opened his wins account for this season. Yesterday he blew them all away, the big Kiwi. Longer distance today, higher humidity, but this man's got a point to prove. And when Sam Gaze has a point to prove, you take notice. The media clear off the starting grid. What a stacked front row that is. Sarrou, Dubois, Litcher, Vidari, Gaze, Schwarzbauer, Koretsky, Nino Schurter, and I'm glad to say alongside me, Bart Brenchens, the original Olympic world champion. Bart, all the pre-season hype can end now. This is it. This is 2024.
The first round, cross-country Olympic here in Mairiporã, Brazil, yeah. All the big names on the first row.
Adrian Boishy's in there as well. Young man with a big name to make for himself. Thomas Griot, one of the standout stars of last season. Alan Haverly, a former overall title holder. Marcel Guerini had a great end to 2023. Can he back it up with a hot start to 2024? Bouchard, Philippe, List, Colidani. And we are about to go under starters' orders here in Mairiporã. Wait for the lights.
One start loop plus 7 laps. One start lap it is plus 7.
And they are red. And when they go green, we are racing in Brazil. Go in Mairiporã. Sam Gaze in the blue kit leads them out, but Martin Vidari, what a start from the Chilean, delighting the South American fans as they head out onto the start loop up this asphalt climb. Victor Koretsky turns on the afterburners behind Gaze, are trying to sort himself at the front of this one as well. Litcher's in there in the red jersey. Yeah. Washi up there on the right hand side as well for Trinity Racing on the pink Specialized bike.
Pierre Vermont from Belgium, but the adrenaline is high in their bodies, and you can see that as well. Martin Vidari, what a start!
What
immediately
a start
out of the gates.
Vidari, and Koretsky right alongside him as well.
Just the conditions from today.
Really tricky to see up at the top of this climb. 128 beats per minute for Sam Gaze.
I think that's at the start line.
That's at the start line, it must be. Joining us in the booth as well, I'm really pleased to say, Henrik Avancini. Henrik, you've just been doing some pre-show. This is the big one, isn't it? First round of the year?
Yeah, first round of the year. What a start. We saw so intense, so fast. We saw Martin Vidari pulling out of the front row. and dropping the watts into that concrete climb.
He took off and has really got to the front of this one
Very
quickly.
temperamental he is, Martin Vidal. We saw that after the finish of the short track yesterday. I mean, finishing third. But what a performance.
What was your take on that, Henrik, as well? There was a bit of a chat between him and Victor Koretsky at the finish line of that one. Koretsky and Vidari side by side at the front of this one.
Bar to bar, that's so nice to see, so nice to watch. Martin is a huge talent, an upcoming talent. He did a great season as under 23 rider 2 years ago, then moved up to elite category. He struggled quite a lot moving to a factory team, specialized factory racing, and now he seems to be on that point, and now we're approaching a very crucial point of this race.
Yeah. You're right with that. The very steep part, that's the last bit of the first climb, very steep, and only I think the top 10 can ride this, and then riders have to walk.
Oh, Gies topple over the top of this. Now watch this ripple backwards as the rest of the pack almost run over the top of him at the top of this climb. Gies just sort of tagged exactly the wrong part of that rock and got flipped over the bars.
It seems that Victor Koretsky just held the pace a little bit at the top.
Bit of cross-country gamesmanship.
Cyclocross games.
Cyclocross games, okay. But three at the front now. Vidari, Koretsky and Boischy. Watch the Kiwi here on the white bike. Boom.
Yeah, he hit that big rock with his front wheel.
Just unsighted by the rider in front of him, I think.
Great start from Andreasen.
Yeah, look, a real mix-up at the front of this one. Vidari, Koretsky, Boischy, De Flamont, Andreasen.
Aldrich as well. Good start from him.
Shirters in 10th at the minute on our screens.
Andre Sink, Vlad Daskalu, Alan Hartley, Lars Forster.
It's a stacked field at the minute, isn't it? Talent up and down the top 30, really, you'd have to say.
So many strong riders. They're all battling in this first World Cup. Of course, the Olympic Games, qualification, everything is in place for this race.
Boischy, though, what a start in your first elite race, up in third position.
Yeah, a very good start from Pierre de Freudemonde, who is usually not a fast starter, and today he seems to position himself pretty well early in the race.
Orbea Factory having a good weekend with the...
Anna Tauber finished top 10.
Chiara Tiocchi as well, up on the first podium.
Fourth place,
Luca Martin. Yeah, they're going hard at Orbea at the minute, but this man... Martin Vidari, quiet season, sort of tempered with injury and just finding his feet in the elite class. His family are all here. God love his father, couldn't stop crying after that podium yesterday. His coach himself, I believe motorcycle trials world champion at one stage. And
yeah, it's great to see him performing so well this year. Amazing.
Really rides with his heart on his sleeve, full of passion as they head up this really, really steep punch of a climb. Horrible little climb this, Henrik.
Victor Koretsky and
it is a very hard piece now.
Adrian Bragi, third place. Yeah, I think they wouldn't slow down today. It's one start loop plus 7 full laps.
Charlie Aldridge up in 6th position. Gaze has recovered to 7th by our screens in here. Lucas Schwarzbauer 8th, then Saru 9th, Nino Schurter in 10th.
A good start from Lucas Schwarzbauer. I think that's a great course to him. To me, it's more about if he's going to deal well with the heat today. But I would say it's the perfect cross-country course to him.
He never won a cross-country Olympic course.
Chaos further down the order then. Riders battling on this really steep climb. And you can just see what happens whenever one rider gets off or has a problem on a climb. It just ripples back through the pack. Flukiger 51st at the minute, so maybe caught up in that on that first climb incident.
Yeah, that steep climb where everyone has to walk behind the 10th position. And here again, the riders, they're battling for their position constantly, and when they are too close together, and especially in the first lap.
Well, I don't think Matthias Flukiger ever thought his 100th UCI World Cup would be a walk in the park, but he's got work to do now, especially with the pace being driven on the front by Martin Vidari.
Pierre de Flamont now on 3rd place, the Orbea Factory team rider.
Vidari just soaking the bike up underneath him there, getting it back down the ground, moving forward. Look at the effort he's putting in, Henrik.
He's charging. Yeah, he seems to be charging very early into this race, and I think it's about being confident, which also he's pumped by the crowd. There's a lot of like Chileans here. He's been racing in Brazil for so many years, so he has a very strong and passionate fan base cheering for him. And it's the first time that he's leading a Elite World Cup like that.
Just bunny hops the whole rock. Not bother with it.
But you're racing against him many times, even last year. Right? Can you tell us a bit about his character?
He's so aggressive. He's passionate about racing, and he's that type of guy that he's gonna give absolutely everything on every corner, no matter how much risk it is. But so it's what we saw yesterday on the short track.
Who does that remind me of, I wonder?
but technically, he's so good as well on his bike. He can do everything.
Super technical, isn't he? Super technical.
He's super smooth on the bike as well. He's fast. He can find different lines. He's one of the most technical guys out there. I think last year he wasn't that fast because he was lacking the confidence. He started asking too many questions in his own head about how good he was, how ready he was to be a top guy. And if he gets like that confidence level really high, he can be dangerous. I think today it's going to be a massive challenge to him. It's still very early into this race, but he's a very dangerous guy once he feels like the Latino blood pumping.
Yeah, I mean, this place, of course.
But we see more often as a under-23 rider coming to the elite category, it takes a bit of time, and sometimes even a few years to compete on the highest level, to win the races.
Especially if you join a factory team, especially being a specialized factory racing, which is a massive brand, a very important and traditional team. So that adds some more pressure. And also coming from a new, let's say, new country, that brings so much expectation from your fan base, from your fans. That's not easy.
There is Sam Gay's on our shot now in 9th position. Charlie Aldridge from the UK up in 5th place as well for Cannondale Factory Racing. First year in Elites last season for him. Carter Woods, the big Canadian, at his first elite race in 14th as well. So both of those riders, real horsepower riders as well, so this place will suit them.
That's also Filippo Colombo, a very good start. He was behind Nino Schurter. He's on the 11th place. Was battling with that injury he had last year after the Paris-Roubaix crash, but in a good shape this year. 11th place for him now.
Absolute horror crash, that Paris-Roubaix. There is Vidari, though. De Foimont hanging right in there. You see the pace they hit that last left-hander at. Yeah.
A lot of G-force.
It's not going to be much berm left by the end of this one, but they cross the line.
Yeah, wondering what the riders do, if they're taking the tech feed zone for some nutrition to cool themselves down, or taking the fast line without anything.
Look at the gear Gaze is pushing now. Just tipping over.
I saw an Instagram post from Viktor Koretsky with a 40 teeth chainring.
42?
40.
Oh, the ball goes down.
Bow goes down. That is the corner that we saw yesterday, Bart, getting really slick. You love that, don't you? I spotted that. That was a spot from me. Spot with the riders cooling themselves down.
It's not funny at all to crash over there, but I mean, I spoke with my riders of the team yesterday evening, and they all said it was so slippery over there. All the riders, they cooled themselves down, and that's the corner where all the water drops.
Wet grass.
Yeah. And most of these riders, they are with semi-slicks out today, so no knobs in the middle, and it's more slippery when it's wet.
So Boischi at the front now. His first time leading an elite cross-country World Cup for Trinity Racing MTB. What do you make of him, Henrik? Big talent.
Yeah, he's for sure a very strong rider, very capable rider. Let's see how he does now. Andreas in the front looking good as well with his teammate Charlie Aldridge. 2 specialized riders, 2 Cannondale riders in this front group, and also Boischi taking the lead now, and he seems to be squeezing the pace.
Yeah, but we don't see that often that under 23 riders coming to the elite category before they're turning 23 years old, but Boischi did.
Well, he only finished off the podium, the man leading this race. He only finished off the podium outside the top 3 twice last season in both disciplines. And there's some spots open for something called the Olympic Games in the summer for Team France. Why not put him up early and see if he can get one of them? And on this evidence, it's going quite well so far.
Only 2 spots also for France.
Only 2 spots.
And we have so many strong French riders. riders.
Boishy leads Vidari, De Flamont in third, then Koretsky, Aldridge, Schwarzbauer, Andreasen, Dubois in eighth. After that slide out, then Gaze, Colombo.
Coming together, that chasing group.
Dubois bringing the whole group back together now.
Nino Schurter back in 14th, there he is.
Yeah, but I mean, they all stay still in touch with each other, close to each other. Of course, it's 14th place, but everything is still possible in this race.
And this has been the story of this racetrack this weekend, is that it draws them out into a line, and it's about who's got the pace on the front laps to separate the group. Vidari sitting up behind Boishy. Boishy just have a little check, see if he's still there. There's Charlie Aldridge.
And that's exactly what we're watching now. It's why this course is tricky to race. If you squeeze too much and you park, a whole group will get back together. And then it's hard because you're not racing just against 4 guys. You're racing against 10, 12, 15 guys.
And it's mentally hard, you meant.
It is mentally hard. It is mentally hard, but you're also burning matches. What we're seeing from Boishy now, maybe he went to the front. He felt good for a little bit. On a different course, you will put yourself in the front, speed up, create a gap, and then you can protect easily your position. Nice move from Vidal.
Hard.
Sorry for losing.
He's going. Yeah, lost concentration there for a second.
That's the best place where he is all the time. Second place or just leading a little bit of the race, but not too much. But constantly in a good position. But it's also he's also able to do it like that. You need to have the skills to now.
There's Koretsky moving past him now. We're going to see a reaction. Victor Koretsky moves to the front. 4 race victories at the end of last season, and you can see the pack around him just covering that move off.
But Charlie Aldridge is in that group too. The strong guy from Cannondale team.
A trio of Specialized bikes lead them on lap 1.
A little pause.
Yeah,
and they're
looks
approaching
like
the
that.
steep kick now.
Yes, just before that steep part.
On a big group, they're probably going to run again.
Yeah, Sam Gaze on the right-hand side. There's De Flamont. De Flamont on the left now, just having a look at the front list. The Orbea rider from Belgium.
It's Jordan Swoon now who is chasing hard to close that gap to the leading group. But he will be in touch at the top of that
joins this group. It's a different party altogether, isn't it?
He doesn't need to rush now. The thing that he can use this gap to relax a little bit because he's going to get back to the wheel without making a huge effort.
188 beats per minute for Charlie Aldridge from Cannondale Factory Racing. May well be higher at the end of this little pinch. Oh, the Scotsman just has to unclip. Makes his way across there. But the rest of the leading group.
Sahu. Back in the wheel.
Filippo Colombo in 10th.
Vlatasculu, Tito Grot, also another French
Carter
rider.
Woods. Boishy foot out round that flatter left-hand corner.
Sandy corner, that one.
Yeah, really, really loose the track here. It's taken a beating in the sun, just like me. It's a very hot country you haven't seen.
Don't tell me about that. A lot of heat strokes I had in my life.
I bet. At the front end, De Flamont, look at the crowds in the rock section. Boishy, Koretsky, Vidari, Schwarzbauer. Gaze has recovered well after that start-loop mistake.
Gaze back in that leading group, 7th place.
And also Dubois after crashing into the feed zone. Still tied together.
But so many riders so close together.
Well, as they head back up into this sort of arena where so many of the crowds have gathered.
But Pierre Vermoor, he's feeling strong.
Yeah, he's blasted the glasses off his face. He's been travelling that quickly. Got rid of the glasses.
And Saru riding the tail of the group now. I don't know if he's struggling at the moment or if he's just using the stretch of the bunch to allow some rest and connect. You see, he just like leaves a small gap.
Sometimes it's even better to leave that small gap instead of trying to being so close to the...
Koretsky, there's Dubois now, heading to the front. Just get covered off by De Flamont.
Nervous racing, that is.
You see Koretsky just slight recovery there, sat down as they get ready for this horrible little climb. So, De Flamont latches. Oh, little hesitation there from Koretsky on the pedals.
watch out for Filippo Colombo, now on 3rd place already.
And there is Adrian Boishy, Sam Gaze and Vidari. Carter Woods, first race in elites for the Canadian.
Looking very strong so far. Lars Foster, former World Cup winner.
Nino Schurter down in 23rd on our screens at the minute, 20 seconds back.
Yeah, that's not a good sign actually for him.
He had a very good short track. I was impressed that he rode so well.
First line start.
But he had an eye infection early in the week. So I don't know if his body is still fighting that infection, and this could be affecting his performance today.
There's Matthias Flukiger. Through. So Flukiger.
Anton Cooper from New Zealand.
Having a rough
not his best race.
Having a rough day at the office, Matthias Flukiger.
It's not for Koretsky.
40th position for Flukiger.
Filippo Colombo, 2nd place, and then Pierre Froment.
Koretsky, though, looking really, really strong at the front part.
Yeah, he's in a great shape this year already from the beginning of the season. He won already a couple of races, and he seems to be ready for a good season. And he's pushing hard now. You see some gaps in between the riders. But this is, yeah, he's opening some gaps.
Colombo in 3rd, looking good.
Yep.
Victor Koretsky did the double in Leger last season. Almost manuals off the end of that rock.
And Joshua Dubois in 4th place.
I think it's important to say that Dubois won the UCI race the weekend before here in Brazil, and he was very, very calm and confident during the race, and he waited until the 2nd last lap to make like a very sharp and strong move and open up like a massive gap. And he seems to be riding the same way that... Oh, Jesus Christ. It's impossible to keep the commentary with that, Victor.
Oh, you love to see it. Victor Koretsky throwing it over.
There's only one part on that bridge where you have your grip, I mean, where the wire is. If you come next to that, it's so slippery on the wood.
Well, apparently it's also good on the sides.
Yeah, Victor Koretsky putting on a show out front.
Simon Andreasen with Vlad Dasklu, the European champion, behind him. Tito Macron, actually, I'm impressed. The French champion, a good race today.
Yeah, he had an off season last year.
Last year wasn't that good at all for him.
We thought he was one of the favourites coming into it, and it just didn't work out for him. De Foremont's in 2nd there. Filippo Colombo in the black and white kit of Scott Schramm. Great to see him back at the front of a UCI World Cup race, as Bart said. Stymied by that really heavy Paris-Roubaix crash last year. Boishy and Vidari locked together still.
It's going fast, this race. Lap after lap.
It's looking good to Gaze, to be honest. He's just following the race. He's not like putting too much energy into the race, and he's still in touch there.
We saw it with Jenny Risford's in the elite women's race, and she just sort of kept her powder dry the last couple of laps and then moved to the front. And it's definitely a track. There's Christopher Blevins, a track that rewards clever riders that can sit in the bunch and just sort of let other people have a turn at the front. And
yeah, but I mean, if you have a bunch of about 20 riders right now, it's difficult to fight for your position all the time. In the women's category, we saw that group was much smaller, a bit more easier to ride, but you have to save your energy till the end.
Sometimes if you have the legs to do that, it's better to leave like a small gap inside the group, so you just keep like getting dropped and closing the gap, as Sam Gaze just did right now. If you watch what Gaze is doing right now, he's allowing some gaps to open up, and then he closes the gap. So he protects his position, but he's not wasting energy with anticipating the braking points.
Yeah, Victor Koretsky doubles out of those little rollers and then heads down to the start-finish line. These laps ticking off now. Heading on to lap 2. Koretsky leads to Foimont, Colombo, Dubois, Boishy, Martin Vidari. There's Sam Gaze. There's Lucas Schwarzbard together again. Aldridge then in after them. Saru Andreasen are your top 10. There's Carter Woods. First elite UCI World Cup for him.
Yeah, drafting here on sections like this definitely help a little bit to save some energy.
Henrik, you're from this country. Is there anything you can do to adjust your preparation to be ready for the sort of humidity you face outside there today? Is it more water? What is it?
Well, mainly be ready for a very uncomfortable feeling.
No, I've got that now. I've nailed that bit.
No, mentally that plays a role. I would say, you need to be also mentally prepared, because the feeling, it's different. Your body works on a different way when you race, not under the hot conditions, but high humidity. As we have today, it's different. The feeling of pain that you get, it's totally different.
Yep, so some information being passed to one of the riders from a member of staff there. Colombo leads him into the pump track. Timing is crucial around here.
Yeah, Filippo Colombo looked back over his shoulder, but that group behind you is still big.
Boischi's now up to second place as well. Doubles out of it, as does Koretsky.
Joshua Debo with the number 4 on his back.
We can see a small ice bag on his back.
Ollie Beckinsale's just landed in my inbox. Nino apparently covered in dust, so he must have been down.
You haven't seen that, but it's not a good sign.
Definitely not. Not the start of the season Nino Schurter would have wanted. 37th at the minute for the go.
It's Filippo Colombo who's leading. Adrian Bragi behind him. Victor Koretsky.
Big group, still such a big group. 22 minutes of racing, and we see a massive group in the front of the race.
Yeah, Koretsky, he's not in the current situation, but he's on the 3rd place, but not in the standings on screen. His
transponder must have come off the bike. Maybe during that little scrub, maybe just blasted it off the Ford. Yeah,
could someone check the bridge, please?
Check the bridge. Koretsky putting on a show. There's Lars Forster.
Brazilian rider Ulan Galinski, we just saw him on the racing side, the top 25 at the moment.
He's riding for your team.
Yeah, he's riding for my team. Still a young rider, fighting for the Olympic spot right now, and
but
on the way.
Great performance.
Very good performance. His numbers are very good, but he doesn't have the experience yet to fight with those guys, so he's on the process of learning that now.
Only 25 seconds back of the leading.
Colombo looks like he's putting a bit of hurt onto those chasing him. So just for a bit of context on the Nino Schurter situation, his worst result last season was 21st in Leogang, so he's some way off getting back to that position at the minute. We haven't seen him yet. We don't know the extent of that crash.
A small gap in between Martin Vidal and Sam Gaze now.
Yeah, it looks like Filippo Colombo.
Over the bridge they go. There's Sam Gaze. You're right, that gap has just opened a little bit. Filippo Colombo really driving the pace on at the front now.
That's what he's doing, yeah, for sure. And that's why the gaps are there.
Look at the speed of the pack behind him. There's Blevins. And there is Filippo Colombo.
Some great results already this year he had. He won the 3 races in Greece earlier this year.
Pace is high.
They went on a bit of a UCI points tour around Greece, didn't they? Raced something incredible, a lot of races back to back.
He needs to have some points also. That helps him for a better start position in every race. And in mountain biking, yeah, the start position, it's so important. That's why short track means a lot for these riders.
He had a massive injury last year, by the way.
Yeah, he had that crash in Paris-Roubaix on the road.
Exactly.
It's an absolute horror crash.
Broke his elbow. And it took him a long time to recover of that, and that's normal. Sam Gaze, can he close that gap by himself? He has to.
2022, Filippo Colombo won the Mont Saint Anne short track race, but as we say, that huge crash at the start of 2023 really sort of halted a bit of momentum for him, but looking to re-find it here and looking really strong at the front of the first Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series race of the year here in Mairiporã, UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. But Koretsky has got back past him. Victor Koretsky now on a charge through the rocks. There's Boischi, Debo.
The three French riders together.
Sam Gaze in a little sort of pocket of time.
He's not stressed at all. Sam Gaze, a small gap for him.
There's Charlie Aldridge, Vlad Daskalou,
Simon Andreasen,
Andre Sink.
Andre Sink's always in there, isn't he? Always works his way back into the mix.
What a fighter he is.
Filippo Colombo.
Yeah, Andre Sink maybe not technically the best rider, but maybe the best climber he is when it comes down to longer climbs.
And also a very active racer. Once he's in the front of the race, he always makes the action happen.
Yeah.
Always pushing hard. World Championships in Andorra, his favorite course this year for Andre Sink.
And there is the bow moving past Boischet, the bottom of your picture. Here we go. Koretsky.
Filippo Colombo behind him.
Looking really, really at home. We heard from him at the start of the show how much he's into that new Specialized Epic 8. It seems to be working well for him today. But his teammate Martin Vidari moves up behind him.
He's showing his strength, Vidari. Third place now. Joshua Debo on fourth. A little bit of a bigger gear for him.
Sam Gaze moving up.
Now he needs to invest because that's the last big climb of the course, and then he has some time to recover until the finish line. So it's important to sit on the wheel on the final piece. He needs to be closer now.
Lucas Schwarzbauer rounds at the top 10, 23 seconds off the lead, so just 23 seconds cover them after 27 minutes of racing.
A soft rear tire for Lucas Schwarzbauer, what I saw, but it could be that's normal.
Could just be that it's struggling to contain the power that's being put into it. There is Gaze, speaking of power.
Carter Woods inside the top 20.
Good ride so far from Carter Woods.
Very nice performance by him. That's a tough climb.
Absolutely, yeah.
Keeps on going, eh?
It's so hard.
Never ending, that one. Filippo Colombo and Koretsky with Vidauer. And you see how loose it is, how dusty in this descent. The berms. And you carry on a lot of speed in that last berm for the next climb. Almost halfway. And then it's just a little bit to the top. The two Specialized riders.
Outside line for the guys. Saving the legs.
What would you suggest to ride?
The inside is for sure faster. We saw Martin now gaining two positions.
Yeah.
But you're hitting that corner and hitting your brakes as well. So you get a lot of impact on your legs and your arms. So it's still lap 2. Might be the point to save the legs and save the body a little bit, as Colombo and Koretsky did now.
Nino Schurter, just an update for you, back in 40th currently. We've yet to see him, see the results of that crash that he's had out there somewhere. We saw Haley Batten have that really, really big slam on the elite women's.
Luckily for her, it was the last lap when it happened. And see the dust in the background from the course, from the riders.
This is a really steep little descent here.
Joshua Debo.
Is Debo struggling or he's just super confident today?
Poor. It's hard to say. His body language doesn't say that much.
It's such a hard course to read as well. We've seen this throughout the racing today and yesterday that, you know, a 3 or 4 bike length gap, it's hard to work out if they're doing what you mentioned earlier and just getting in some clear air and taking a break before moving forwards, or if they're struggling but not struggling at the front. Martin Vidari.
But Joshua Debo, definitely a very strong rider. There he is on 4th place.
I would say he's just super calm today. He's looking
super calm.
mega.
Yeah. He had a 2nd place last year in the 3rd round in Novo Mesto.
The Decathlon 4 team still looking for that first big win.
And they are together at the front then.
But he looks like super calm and confident. Joshua Debo, who was 3rd in that leading group. Chasing group.
There's Sam Gaze.
Yeah.
Pierre de Flamont, if he had a look over his shoulder there, that will have concerned him. The big Kiwi is on his way.
Blevin's moving up.
Yeah, Blevin's going well in 11th, heading for the top 10. Specialised factory racing rider. Specialised factory racing look like they've really got things clicking down there at the minute. They had a number of years sort of in the doldrums without the big players and the big wins, but looks like Benno has got them into shape.
It takes time to build the environment, a healthy environment, but also that's challenging the riders to question themselves. And it seems that they are in a good place now.
Here we go then. Martin Vidari leads them over the line to start the third lap. And the lap's ticking off here. The pace extremely high at the front of this one.
Off very quickly. Lap time's about 11:30. That's what we expected. 11:22.
Little shake of the head from Dubois there.
Fastest lap time 11:04 of Martin Vidauere. Slowing down a little bit now.
Dubois took that corner now super easy.
Tentative, yeah, sat up. Yeah, Luciano on the moto at the front of this race. I don't know if he's had to swap it for a Fireblade or something a bit quicker. This average speed of this one's super high. There's Carter Woods, Lars Forster behind him.
And Ulan Galinsky closing the gap to that group. An impressive ride by the Brazilian.
Max Feudel on 22 and then Ulan Galinsky on 22.
Has it been a different one for Galinsky, separating himself from the support and the pressure, because they can kind of become one and the same? Henrik, you know more about that than anybody.
Well, he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because
he's team manager.
He's also my he was my teammate last year, and I'm his team manager, and there's a lot of pressure on the newer generation of Brazilian riders of who's going to be the next, but he's dealing well with that.
37th then Flickiger crosses the line.
Gunnar Holmgren from Canada, 38.
There is
Nino Schurter, so covered in dust, so that looks like he's had a big one out on course somewhere.
On his arm, on his back, everywhere.
Oh, that was a big one.
Not the start to the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. Nino Schurter will have wanted going for his 10th overall title this season, and it's one that is going to have to require something special to come back from this.
Yeah, that must have been a big one.
Must have, yeah. He's pretty much top to toe covered.
Just everywhere. There he is with the number 3 on his back.
Some blood on his elbow as well.
Yeah, as well.
I wonder if he's had one of those ones in one of the fast corners like Haley Batten did, where there's a lot of speed involved.
I almost would think about more like the rock garden, or what do you think?
It's easy to make a call because the course it's not so hard technically, so at times you just overdo on the physical side, and all of a sudden you make a small mistake, and you're always riding fast on this course. So if you lose the perfect trail and go over the bars, you're gonna hurt yourself.
And sometimes it's also because you're riding that close together with each other that it's not only your own fault, but sometimes you have to escape a crash in front of you or something else what you don't expect, and then it goes wrong.
These 4 riders then, Vidari, Colombo, Koretsky and Dubois. Behind them, Sam Gaze has got past Boishy. So there is a bit of a gap between them, 14 seconds back to the big Kiwi.
Wondering if the Specialized riders working together to keep that gap.
Or if they're going to fight each other.
Again. Yeah, the short track yesterday, things got a bit fiery between the 2 Specialised riders, but I don't know about the pair of you, but personally I love to see it in sport. You love to see that passion and what it means.
It was a great battle and also great emotions after the finish line to show that.
That's what we want.
Definitely. But will there be somebody from the team, Henrik, letting them know that Sam Gaze is the next rider, and if he gets into that lead group, that's a very different scenario?
Yeah, that's a very important information.
But riders, they will know that as well. They make a loop over here. They can come back under that bridge. They will see also where Sam Gaze is at the moment.
Bit of chat there from Colombo back to Koretsky.
I think that was his coach, Barry, the South African coach, just talking to Colombo, giving him some inputs on what he's watching from the outside. Sometimes that's so important for the riders.
4 leaders with Martin Vidaure doing the work here. Sam Gaze.
17 seconds down, still.
Yeah, it's getting more. But it's getting bigger.
If Saru can get across to Gaze and they can work together.
Saru always so consistent.
Boishet, de Foimont.
Now it seems to be that the speed is settled in. There's a little bit more. I wouldn't say that it's relaxed.
I wouldn't say that, no.
But at least they found their positions a little bit in front of the race.
Yeah.
And not battling constantly for every corner, for every time for their positions.
At times you need a couple of laps to figure out how to hit the course on race day, because you had a few races before. So once you go out there to start racing, you face a slightly different condition, and at times you need, like 1-2 laps to figure out how are the conditions.
But how easily is it to blow up in the beginning of the race in these conditions with all the fans?
It's so easy because of the atmosphere. It's so loaded with energy, from the crowd. And also the profile of this track, it's so fast, it's so intense, that it's so easy to get out of your speed, get out of your perfect pace, and just make a mistake or lose it.
Well, the dust continues to rise here in Mairiporã, Brazil. This man, Martin Vidaure, Chilean national champion, delighting the South American fans. You can see the ice cubes just falling out of that bottle. Second tech zone, as it traditionally is, normally reserved for just mechanical assistance, but opened up for feed and water to help the riders cool down. Cooler than it was yesterday, but we're talking margins here. 24-25 degrees out there, over 80% humidity. It's a very, very dull but heavy day, and Martin Vidaure is making light work of things out the front of this one. Really explosive off the front, and is now looking commanding at the front of this group. Filippo Colombo is in second wheel. Really resurgent, strong ride from him.
But impressive to see how Vidaure is performing now. Last year he was struggling a little bit with his form, but this year it's amazing how strong he is.
He's getting back now, a little bit.
Schurter is 43rd as we speak. Nino Schurter having a torrid time out there. He has been down. Big crash for him, covered in dust and dirt. Still circulating, but not the start to his or anyone's season that they'd want. There is Boishet and Vlad Dascalu now coming through.
Adrian Bragi now in 9th place, overtaken by Vlad Dascalu. Simon Andreas overtaking Lucas Schwarzbauer here on this climb. Sink.
Brido in there as well, Alan Haverly. Disappointing short track from Haverly, but 15th at the minute in the cross-country Olympic.
He had a technical problem in that short track. That was the reason for that. And also that's why he had to start from the 4th row today. It's always more difficult. And if something goes wrong in the start in the cross-country Olympic race,
look how dusty and blown out these turns are getting. Coating the photographers and video guys at the side of the track. Vidaure getting a move on again now.
It's charging.
It's looking good, Vidaure. Really
two big hopes for the future of the sport, really, right there in shot. Vidaure and Colombo both going for that A-line down over the wood.
That's a very good performance by Colombo so far. Let's remember that it's not easy to be on the same team of Nino Schurter. The amount of pressure and expectations, to make something relevant, it's so high, it's so difficult to get up to that level. Thomas Frischenreich, it's your team manager, one of the legends of our sport, and then you have the biggest of all time, the greatest of all time as a teammate. Must be hard, but what do you think?
No, but I think Filippo, he's managed to do it in the right way. They're riding a lot together on the courses. Do you see them training together? I think they motivate each other as well. And it's also, I mean, for Nino, there's not that much years left, I think, to perform constantly on a level like this. You know that as well, that it's becoming more difficult for him. And yeah, yesterday was good, short track, and I think he's still able to winning World Cups. But yeah, his age will work against him, I think, in the future. And it's good to have Filippo Colombo as a new, young, talent. I'm going to say it's not a talent. He already proved his strength in the past. But he's there, and I think he can manage it to live in a team like
It's a big opportunity,
Nino.
this as well, for Colombo, isn't it? You know, Nino's not there in the front pack.
And he's taken over.
Yep.
But coming back from an injury, what he had last year, a lot of respect for that.
Great work for him. And Dubois sitting fourth on this group, always on the back of this group.
Front wheel sliding out there from Koretsky, just went slightly too wide in that turn, manages to get a galler back up again. Little scan over the shoulder of Vidari, stretches the lower back out slightly, gulps down some more air.
It's hard to say who is the strongest of these four.
The pace in that front four, extremely, extremely high.
And some guys he's not that far off, but yeah, to close a gap like that is not easy at all.
Gaze, he's 15 or 17 seconds back.
Christopher Blevins behind Pierre de Formod, the USA champion, Stars and Stripes jersey. There's Lucas Schwarzbauer, the purple kid of the Cannondale team. Here is Christopher Blevins.
Blevins gets
Vlad Dasklu, the European champion. And then Lucas Schwarzbauer.
There's Simon Andreasen. Dubois, just a bit of space between him and the bikes in front, but as you say, maybe just a tactical, giving himself a bit of space. Definitely well in amongst it, Joshua Dubois.
Some riders prefer to have like a clear path in front of them. I think that's the case with Dubois.
Here they come again over the start-finish line. That one, extremely fast lap.
Taking his gel, Martin Vidaure.
2 seconds covering the four of them.
4 laps to go.
Sam Gaze, what do we read from this body language now? Saru back with him.
Yeah, it's difficult for him to close that gap. Maybe he can have a little bit of help from Jordan Saru now, who's coming with him. More riders stretching their backs, like Christopher Blevins does, taking his gel as well.
So Martin Vidari currently leads Bart and I's favourite competition, the fastest lap. 11 minutes, 4.5 seconds.
It's crazy fast.
Absolutely.
Is it even possible to go faster on a course like this, with all these turns and gravel corners? Maybe on the climbs.
But it's Koretsky who's at the front now. Let's get a slow-mo through the rock section then. The Olin suspension. Jordan Saru making it look easy. He's past Gaze now.
Yeah, maybe Gaze can have some draft from Jordan Saru, because Saru will keep on pushing. The third French rider in this race. He have to make the qualification for the Olympics.
Yeah, pressure is on every Frenchman out there this weekend. Only 2 spots available for the Paris 2024 Games, and about, I don't know how many there is, 80 or 90 riders capable of taking it. It feels like sometimes such is a depth of field. And just to say that,
now coming to the front.
Joshua Dubois comes to the front. And Henrik Avancini has made way for another man with a slightly smaller fan base here in Brazil.
A touch.
Ollie Beckinsale joins us again. Ollie, you sent us the news about Nino out on course. Any idea what's happened to him?
Other than he was covered head to toe in dust all over his back, like he'd had a big off. You could tell he's rolled a bit. He's riding well, bike seems fine, but he done that first lap, something had gone wrong.
Do you know where it happened? Or
top part of the set. We didn't see it on the cameras, but yeah, he all of a sudden he was with Colombo, and they were riding in tandem, and then next thing he's right back down the field. But yeah, head to toe in dust.
Yep. Nino Schurter been in the wars, but We can see Jordan Saru. I think you're right, Bart. Sam Gaze has got latched onto the back of him, and can Christopher Blevins now join the party as well and make that a group of 3?
It looks like that 6th place now for Christopher Blevins, but you could see as well Sam Gaze was pushing a bigger gear. Yeah, it cost a lot of power to do that as well. It didn't look the best for him, but yeah, maybe he can recover a little bit of that fast start here this race today.
Vlad Daskal has come through the pack absolutely superbly.
Yeah, we saw that from the outside. Seemed a lot of that first lap pace was electric, and a couple of guys just sat back a bit and just paced it a little bit better. I think Blevins especially, he's coming through it like a steam train.
Yeah, Christopher Blevins, the American national champion, also hopeful of a place.
And Josh Reddybow now leading this race. A look back over his shoulder
at the Olympics
to the chasing group with Jordan Saru and Sam Gaze. The numbers 5 and 6 in the race.
And I was stood by the feed, by the Cannondale factory guys in the pits area, feed area. You could see the speed they were coming through, but the amount of prep they'd done in the feed station. A bottle at the start, then a gel, then a bottle at the end to go over the lap on the back. And you see everyone coming in, taking that feed really seriously.
Yeah, it's very necessary to do it seriously, and also to be prepared for a race like this, especially for these people who are in the tech feed zone, with all the ice, the bottles, the nutrition, but also the spare wheels, the tools, everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a mini Formula One tech area in there.
It's like that.
Well, I can tell you, we've crunched the numbers on it. Nino Schurter hasn't finished outside the top 40 since 2005. 19 years. So, it's not the history you'd want to make, but
he's always so consistent, always there.
You see there's that little lull at the front now. They're just having a little bit of break. We saw the same in the women's race, that front 3 just having a little break.
And this is a group of 3 now behind them, consistent of Sam Gaze, Jordan Saru and Christopher Blevins.
But Jordan Saru will push hard to close that gap, and he's able to do it. He has the engine.
Yeah, we always find Jordan Saru always so strong but so consistent all year.
Consistent, and if they slow down a little bit, just these 4 leaders, they will be back. And sometimes it helps a little bit if you have a little bit of a gap in between the rider in front of you. 16 seconds is not that much.
Joshua DeBow for Decathlon Ford Racing Team taking it on now, taking his turn at the front. You can see that gap on your screen.
Alan Hatherley coming through. He had a mechanical in the short track yesterday, which put him near the back of on the 30th or so on the grid. So he's had to have a bit of a scrap through, but he's up to 12th now, working well.
Yeah, here comes DeBow. All 4 riders super smooth through the rock section, just ticking it off as they get ready to go back up this horrible climb.
Yeah, it's so intense, this section, that big rock garden. There's no real recovery on this bit.
Have a look at Christopher Blevins now. He's chasing hard to close that gap, leading this chasing group of 3.
And I think one of the fastest down that section out of the front grid. Blevins absolutely pinning it.
He didn't touch any of these rocks.
He flew.
Blevins has gone straight past Saru and Gaze, going like a steam train.
Yeah, and Blevins obviously a winner of a World Cup previously, but last year, I don't know the true reason, but he was just struggling to capture that form again.
I think he likes to join his teammates, Vidauer and Koretsky in the leading group.
Yeah. But we do see that sometimes the season before an Olympic year, riders just roll off slightly, and if they're in the middle of a contract and they know a Games is on the horizon, the big push comes now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like I say, if he wants to go to the Games, 2 top 5s in these first 3 races for the US, as far as we're told. And so it's very simple. He's got to do it or not. You know, you go to, you blow a little bit.
So look at Christopher Blevins. Is he able to close that gap? Is Sam Gaze going with him? Is he able to follow him? And
Blevins,
also Saru.
9 seconds back off the lead, so it's heading his way.
And maybe his teammates, Vidauer, Koretsky, they will slow down if they see him coming. And there he is.
There he is, in the same shot now.
It's not that much.
And it looks like Gaze has...
Yeah, he's just the same.
Gaze has blown Saru off, so he's on his way forward as well.
And look at his body language. Still some speed in it.
Straight post for Blevins as well, not a dropper seat post.
He's almost back on now. I think by the next descent he'll be back in that group. And amazing to three specialised riders in the front group of 5. And the funny thing, after we're talking about a bit of a spat in the team, we're now going to find the fact that they've got the best team in the front group, and they're going to probably work together to win it.
They're going to have to.
At least Vidauren and Victor Koretsky didn't do it like that in the short track, but maybe in this race they do.
So Blevins, Gees, Saru, Andreasen, Schwarzbauer, Sherman's the back half of the top 10. Then it's the Foimont, Haverly, Sink, Feudal, and Forster the top 15. Luca Brido's in there. Colodani, Avendetto, a trio of Italians lying astern. Tomagrio. Big performances last season from Tomagrio. Zanotti rounds out the top 20.
Yeah, and Grillo didn't have a great short track yesterday compared to what we were expecting with his last season's results, and again struggling a bit today and a little off the pace.
An amazing shot. Yes, see how these riders jumping over these rocks.
Yeah, and you see on this circuit as well, using all the suspension, you know, right down, all that 120 mil, 100 mil just getting used up.
And this got to whenever the pace is this
7
high.
leaders again. Oof, they came back.
Sam Gaze has now worked his way back. He's brought Saru with him, so it's gone from being 4 at the front to 7 at the front.
And now it's time for the specialised riders to push the hammer down. Victor Koretsky does it.
Just check down at the bike, something there. And now they'll split over these 2 lines. Anybody going to go wide? Gaze goes wide.
It was interesting. We were chatting
nothing wrong with his bike.
Nothing wrong with the bike, yeah. Had a good mech check there.
Interesting, we were chatting in the pre-show with Henry, and he said, we was asked about the heat and the humidity, and he said at 50 minutes, that's when you start to kick in and the body temperature rise and you can feel your head boiling from inside. I think it was his words.
I think mine was a bit earlier than 50 minutes, but for these elite athletes, maybe. Koretsky checks over his right-hand shoulder. Debo looking really strong.
Very confident how he's riding, the way how he's riding.
Yeah, like a relaxed body language.
Yeah, the 2 Frenchies. And Saru is not that far off.
He has in his corner as well Joshua Debo, Stefan Tempier, who, you know, he's part of the coaching staff on that team and is a rider that you know would be at the front round here. This would suit him down to the ground.
Yeah, he's a class act.
Yeah.
Saru, the last rider of this leading group. Yeah, 3 French riders in this group.
Debo, Koretsky, Colombo, Vidari, Blevins, Gaze, Saru. Pick a winner out of that lot. And you can see the Sports Institute here in the IMTV Bike Park. There's Gaze now moving up. Sam Gaze has been very patient in this race, you know.
Yeah, but he knows as well he has to be in a good position all the time. It costs a lot more energy to be in the back of this group, like where Saru is. You slow down too much all the time in front of the corners, and then you have to accelerate again. And that costs a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think if you could choose
they're coming more riders back actually from that chasing group. They're not that far off. The number's 8. With Schwarzbauer is in that, Simon Andreasen.
I think if you could choose a position, I think number 3 is the perfect spot. And we saw Jenny Risveds in the women's race earlier, sitting there comfortably for a long time in position 3, following wheels, second wheel, just sitting there floating.
Yeah, so bit of Schurter news. He's up to 35th now, Nino Schurter.
Coming back into the race. A little bit.
Yeah, it's better. It's getting better, but a really tough first day back at school for Nino Schurter. Crashed early on, covered head to toe in dust and dirt.
Here comes that chasing group. Oof. Schwarzbauer, Andreasen, Vladascu is there, Pierre de Formor is in that group. Yeah, and
Haverly coming through as well.
Sink.
Yeah, from Andreasen. Really good ride. Big step up. He had a great end of season there last year, Mont Saint-Anne, but coming back strong.
I'm just seeing Adrian Boishy falling down the standings in 43rd at the minute for the Trinity Racing MTB team.
I expect him to have a technical problem. He lost about a minute in the last lap he did.
So, yeah, maybe a puncture for Boishy. or something.
Oh,
somewhere.
he blew up.
Or he blew up. That's also an option, Bart. Yeah.
A leg puncher.
Leg puncher.
Had a few of those.
Not for these guys.
They start lap 4, leg puncture free.
Schwartzbauer coming just, again, only 7 seconds behind now.
There's Andre Sink for your picture. Max Feudal.
An interesting one, Matthias looking at, he had a... Matthias Flukinger having a poor short track, dropping back, and then today coming. I thought he would come flying back from a gridding, but he's sitting there at the moment 24th, second overall last year. You know, a rider you'd think would be well in the mix today, but you know, obviously struggling, whether it's a technical issue or struggling in the heat or.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in front of the race today, so I think it's not his day. But this chasing group, watch out for them. They're able to coming back to the leading group.
Vidari leads his teammate Koretsky, then Dubois, then Gaze, then Colombo.
7 leaders.
Yeah, and I think you'll see those riders, Vlad Daskelu, always, you know, he's got a habit of finishing strong. You know, he never tires, he always does a good last lap.
He has been on altitude training, actually boyfriend of Chiara Tiocchi.
Yeah.
Altitude training in Andorra he did.
Huge
and
result.
It worked for her.
Yeah, huge result for Chiara Tiocchi as Gaze moves in the third wheel now. Everything remaining relatively gentlemanly out there at the minute.
And there she is, Chiara Tiocchi, next to the race.
But we are just waiting to see who is going to launch first here.
It looks like they're happy with this lap being a tempo lap.
And there's that second group coming now. Schwartzbauer leads Simon Andreasen, leads Vlad Daskelu.
Yeah, they're not that far off. No. Coming back into the race.
In there as well.
Andre Singh is in that group.
Simon Andreasen, change of coach for him this off-season. What a difference it's made. Looks like a different rider this weekend.
But hitting 174 on the whoop heart rate. So, yeah, working hard. These guys at their maximum today, especially now. They're probably just a little lower. They've probably got a couple of beats left, but we won't be too far off.
Yeah, especially in the heat, even your heart rate is even a bit more.
There's Vidari, Koretsky, Gaze, Dubois.
Leading many times, Martin Vidaure. Leading many times in this race. Joshua Dubois we have seen pushing for a couple of times.
And I think on this section of the course, being in front isn't too much of a problem. It's generally slow. That second part of the circuit, there is some benefits from just sitting in the line and having a bit of extra recovery. But
yeah, it's more for a good position to be here, like Blevins does now. Coming in front of Filippo Colombo, the US champ.
He was 18th, Martin Vidari, in Mont Saint Anne, the cross-country Olympic distance, and a very wet and cold day in Quebec.
Was that his best result?
Now you're asking me, Bart.
Last year. I think he didn't have his best year last year, Martin Vidal.
He was 13th in the short track in Leogang.
But yeah, that result yesterday and today, backing it up, that's a big step up. Under 23 superstar when he was racing last year. It took him in that while just to settle in to riding in the elites.
Well, they are all together, 7 of them at the front here in Mairiporã, Brazil. The opening round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup, the elite men's race, last on the schedule for Mairiporã. Don't forget, next weekend, Arasha. And there's a rider moving up through the ranks on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that steeper part of that climb is coming up, so the riders, they know that as well.
It causes that little bit of stress, that actually you want to be in that first wheel, second wheel, third. It gets a bit, especially as the fatigue is kicking in.
Yeah.
Really nothing in it after
the 1 hour mark.
The 1 hour mark. Oh, Gaze again having troubles on this climb, just as he did on the start loop.
This is why riders like to be in front of that.
Dubois leads Vidari.
And he looks around, he'll see that little gap that's been created, and it's whether he's got that choice, whether he feels confident enough to to smash the pressure.
Behind him, pretty cleanly done. You can't take your eyes off this one. Any of these top 7 riders you feel could make a break for it.
That's how it is. Schwarzbauer will also watch out for him, chasing hard in that chasing group.
Specialized factory racing, stacking the deck at the minute at the front.
This is your top 7 with Filippo Colombo, 7th place, and then that chasing group with Lucas Schwarzbauer now taking that rock garden.
Here we see that replay. Watch Gaze here in 4th wheel. Just gets too far over to the left and has to unclip, shakes the head. And that can just upset his rhythm as well.
And Debo just rolling that big gear in his style. He always looks super calm. We saw him in Nova Mesto, had a great race last year, but that big gear is super effective for him. And I think on a course today, with those little steep climbs, I think it helps.
Yeah, these punchy climbs.
And the speed, you know, if you've got tight corners where you have to accelerate, that big gear is not so useful or effective. But where it's like this at high speed, you can really create quite a lot of torque and power, can't you?
And that's what he does all the time.
And a little gap.
Yeah, Filippo Colombo, he knows it's now time for that to close that gap.
Saru doing his best to hang on at the back. We haven't seen Saru really come any further forward. He's sat at the back of that group the whole time. Do you think that's tactical? Or?
Yeah, I think it's tactical. It's more the way how he's riding most of the time. But when it comes down now to the last few laps, he's still there. He's still in touch. Everything is still possible for him too.
And there is Saru up to one of the steepest parts off the course here. BMC Factory Racing rider.
I think it'd be interesting now we've got 3 Specialized in the front group, whether they will have just the freedom to race or whether there will be some team tactics, of course. You know, someone could just let the wheel go in a tighter section, just let a little gap.
We have to ask Benno if he can tell us.
Yeah.
Benno Wheelite,
well,
the team manager.
Team tactics can sometimes be very hard to hear, is what we learned yesterday. Yeah,
but interesting, definitely it is. 3 Specialized riders in the leading group.
Yeah, we haven't seen one team really dominate the front of an elite men's cross-country Olympic World Cup race like this for some time.
Yeah, to pack 3 riders into that front group. And it'd be interesting, not so much kind of blocking, but almost if another rider attacks and has a gap, whether another rider wouldn't be the one that jumps on it, just sits there and follows.
Can you imagine if one of them knocked one of the other ones off?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't imagine it, but can you imagine the debrief?
Ulan Kalinski, the kid over there with that blue kid, the guy.
Yeah, 21 now.
The Brazilian rider, yeah.
Just 1 minute back.
On Henrik's team.
Yep. A great performance. Hometown race for him.
Vidari swings it left and right.
And getting a little gap. But it's Debo, actually, who's pushing really hard. And he's got...
Yeah, he made the difference on that climb.
Yeah.
He's feeling strong.
On that Rock Rider bike, Decathlon.
Yeah, new team name, Decathlon Fort this year. Decathlon Fort racing team.
Just little gaps starting to appear, and it's Debo putting the pressure on.
Yeah. Last season, Joshua Debo nearly defeated Tom Pidcock. One of the hardest jobs in cycling, to take a debut win in Nova Mesto Namarave at the opening round. He couldn't get the job done that day, but...
Can he do it today?
Can he do it today?
But Debo seems to have that kind of strength and resilience. You know, he's looks like I mean, everyone's pushing hard, but there's some riders that just seem to be able to dig so deep. We see Alessandra Keller, she has that ability, very consistent, but just keeps going and going and going. And Debo, I think, is a similar sort of rider.
Yeah, you saw that Nova Mesto in that race I just mentioned. He was like a dog with a bone that day, just wouldn't let it go.
No, he took Pidcock to the limit.
He did. And again, not many get to say that.
No.
Koretsky, the rider, what we see here on the back, taking his drink.
There's a little split now in this front group, 4 just separating themselves.
Yeah, and then again with Saru, Sam Gaze, they lost again a little bit of time.
And it started when you had that mistake by Gaze on the steep climb.
Yeah,
and he never quite recovered.
Yeah.
You know, you make a big effort to panic to get back, and then when Joshua DeBow went hard, you haven't quite got the legs to follow.
Now we have again the same 4 leaders as we had before.
So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering where Nino Schurter is, 37 for Joshua DeBow, just slides out around that corner.
Levens is coming back to the leaders, and Saru too, actually Sam Gaze as well.
And this is one of the few sections on the course where they can just have a little chill, recovery, they'll have a drink. With 2 laps to go, now it's probably almost the last time you can really get a lot of sugar inside you. So
it wouldn't take that long anymore before we see their first real attack.
Tom Pidcock, who we just mentioned, in action. Amstel Gold race today. I'll not spoil the result of that one for you, but worth checking out.
Must be.
DeBow, Vidari, Colombo, Koretsky, Blevins. Your top 5, but you can throw a blanket over all of them.
Yeah, 2 more laps if they cross the line. You expected a tight race, and that's what it is.
We've been talking about it all week, but this has defied expectations, really, hasn't it? This is extremely close race, and Sam Gaze just sat at the back of this group watching everyone.
And I think it's a really great circuit. The fact it's technical, it's hard enough to cause damage, but not split it apart too much. It's quite cagey.
It's so important for all these riders to have something left.
Yeah.
That they have taken their energy, they have taken themselves cool.
Well, it's the first lap in a while that Martin Vidari hasn't led them across the line, but he has half-wheeled Joshua DeBow across it. There's Colombo, Koretsky, Blevins, Saru, and the big man, Sam Gaze.
And that acceleration by DeBow's just put that second group back a notch again.
Lucas Schwarzbauer's having a really strong race, you know. Okay, he's back in 8th off this front group, but
I think
still
he'll
working.
take that. I think it was an opening race. He says he really struggles in the heat, and I don't think that's... So Schwarzbauer in the pre-show clips in the interview saying he was struggling in the heat, and I don't think that's a play. I think that's just a fact, and I think, you know, if you get round today and get a top 10 in these conditions, it sets you up well for the races to come.
I interviewed Schwarzbauer earlier in the weekend, just whenever it was at its hottest, really, and it was a battle between the two of us to find out who could get the interview over with quicker. It was absolutely roasting hot, but Galinski has just crossed the line.
We just saw then a tap of wheels. Colombo clicked out.
Yeah. But this group is coming back to the leaders.
There's Blevins now through the pump track.
Yeah, we know that boy loves a pump track.
Yeah.
Carries some good speed. He's actually getting held up, really, by DeBow in front of him.
150 beats per minute for the big diesel, Sam Gaze.
It's Jens Schuurmans who's leading that chasing group for the giant rider, giant team.
Yeah. And looking a bit further back, Alan Haberle still doing a good ride, coming from a bad grid position, 13th place. Forster, 18th, not a great day. Flukinger, 23rd now.
Flukinger's worked his way back through, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's rolling up through.
Sam Gaze, that cut in the arm opened up. Wonder whether that was from one of the impacts at the top of that climb, bleeding from his left arm.
And
probably,
Nino
yeah, probably it is.
Nino, 35. Charlie Eldridge, after a fast start, dropping back 36 now. Yeah, further down the ranks, this pace has caused a bit of chaos.
It has, and we've seen it all weekend long, really, haven't we? The pace at the front really causing chaos up and down the field. Adrian Boischi, 83rd, so I think that issue that we saw him roll back with through the pack, looking pretty rough for the first time a litre.
And just seeing Jens Schuurman, the giant factory rider, just making connection with the front group. So he was in that second group. He's managed to attack and come across the gap.
Strong ride from Jens Schuurman.
Really strong. We just see that little lull in the... Oh, and it's Colombo, like a proper attack up the outside.
Colombo outside.
Not happy with the pace, and that's a strong move, followed by Debo, followed by Blevins. Koretsky happy to follow his teammate.
That's also why Jens Schuurmans came back to that leading group. But if we get the morale for a strong finish, Jens Schuurmans, he's always strong at the end of the race, especially in short track racing. Most of the time, he made it to the first row start or second row start, and now as well came back to the leaders. Martin Vidauwe.
There's a bit of daylight back now to Saru. So, are we starting to see the beginnings, the opening exchanges, and what is shaping up to be a battle royale here in Mairiporã?
Saru, Gaze, Sherman's just getting distanced a little bit by that attack of Colombo.
There's no time to recover for Jens Schuurmans.
Debo refuses to be beaten, still hangs on second wheel. Verdari now rolls past Koretsky on the left-hand side, past Blevins.
Looks like they're slowing down again, that leading group.
Specialised factory race in Free Brest.
That's Barry Austin, the coach, next to the course. Coach of Filippo Colombo.
I think the message will be very much just keep on doing what you're doing.
But I think with these front guys, we saw the issue last time on that steep rise. There'll be a fight for that position. You want to be first or second at least.
Every lap again.
Yeah.
If someone in front of you made a mistake.
Acceleration now by Vidari, I think.
Yeah, it is. As long as they go fast enough, it's not a problem. But if they slow down just a little bit, and of course, the first riders, they will slow down automatically. Yeah. It's super steep.
You get this kind of slingshot effect, the reverse. You just get this congestion. They hit it.
Here we go.
It's better to keep a little bit of a distance in the rider in front of you.
Vidari. Leads Colombo, Koretsky, Debo, Blevins, Saru, Gaze, Shermans, all through cleanly.
Yeah, they all. Wow, they came back all. Simon Avendetti as well.
Avendetti, yeah. They are all back together, really, now. There is that Schwarzbauer group.
Hathaway coming through.
This race is amazing to watch.
It's kept us.
Sherman, Simone.
Here they all are.
Avendetti, where did he come from?
Look at Braido.
Look at that. 6 laps in, and there is absolutely nothing to separate.
But if you see the lap times as well, Luca Braido is similar. He's in the 15th position, similar lap times than the first riders have.
Vidari just sort of flicking the back end out over that rock, making an adjustment mid-air.
That's Simon
Andreasen, Dascalu, Schwarzbauer, De Flamel,
Nadir Koladani.
Wow.
Alan Haverly's back in the mix now too. This has to be one of the closest UCI cross-country Olympic World Cups ever.
But the crazy thing is, early days, it looked like it was going to split to bits. And they went hard for almost a lap, and then everyone went, we can't keep this going. Let's chill out a little bit. And now it's all just congested back up again. It's like the reverse of a race. It's got more people as the race is
It's just attracted people in, hasn't it, really? And now...
The level of these riders these days, it's so high. Yeah. They're all ready for racing, to win a race. Martin Vidauwe.
Watch this now, look. Just watch Vidauwe across here.
He's not touching anything.
Wow. So easy to just roll a tyre.
But there's just a kink in the trail there, and he's just setting up that next turn. I mean, it's like another level of skill where instead of just riding these rock sections, they're actually kind of using them to gain speed.
Here we go, up this really steep punch.
That's almost what he does.
Yeah.
A group of 5 and then a little bit of a gap, but almost nothing.
Vidari. What can the Chilean do in the closing stages of this race?
Again, Saru, a few bike lengths off.
Yeah, Saru's just been swinging a bit this last lap. Him and Gaze just struggling a little bit.
And then we have Jens Schuurmans here, Simon Avendetti, Simon Andreasen.
Oof.
Vlad Dascalu.
But Avendetti, an under-23 champion.
Yeah.
But 65 on the number board. That's his current world ranking. So
what a performance for him.
Tomagrio.
Just look at Braido, the Italian champion. Singh is still there.
Now they are then all together at the front of this one. Mino Schurter currently 33rd position, 2 minutes off the front. You get the feeling, if it wasn't for that crash, the psychology involved in this big group at the front would have suited Schurter down to the ground.
Mateusz Flukiger's linked up now with his teammate Lars Forster. They're sitting 18th, 19th.
Filippo Colombo had a couple of bites at the apex of that one.
You can see how loose it is here in these corners everywhere.
And that berm was where obviously Haley Batten had a crash on the last lap, and that berm, it's breaking down. As more and more riders do it, it's starting to fall apart a bit. It was solid at the start of the week, and now it's almost becoming like a dust corner. And a big groove cutting it, isn't it? So
yeah, it's getting more difficult.
Well, really, really close racing here in Mairiporã in the Atlantic Forest.
Saru in front of Sam Gaze now. In 6th place. Sam Gaze on 7th. But it's another Frenchman, Joshua Dibot, who's leading. Victor Koretsky, 2nd place. Filippo Colombo on 3rd.
Vidari has just dropped back to 5th at the minute.
And everyone just taking the opportunity to have a drink, getting ready for what's going to come in this next lap.
Jordan Saru is in 5th at the minute, just behind Vidari, having not really featured at the front of this race, maybe having just boxed extremely clever, but look who's behind him. Sam Gaze, Jens Sherman's ducks underneath the drone.
Simon Avandetti, he's behind Jens Schuurman, the Italian rider riding for really a Vittoria team.
And there's a few things. Obviously, we've got 3 specialised teammates in this front group, 3 French in the front group. And remember, going back to that Olympic, secondary conversation, is that there's 2 spots. There's 3 in this front group. So this race next week, big opportunities for the French riders.
Yeah, Dubot still looks unchanged in terms of the body language on the bike. Doesn't look to have adjusted too much.
I expect the final lap doesn't have any time to drink or take anything to them. It will be flat out for a good position when it comes down to the last few corners.
The top 9 then, a winner is going to have to come from this group. Dubot, Koretsky, Colombo, Blevins, Vidari, Saru, Gaze, Shermans, Avendetto.
Wow. Yeah, for Avendetto to be in this company with a lap to go, that is an impressive step up.
This is like a 2nd or 3rd lap, not a 6th lap.
Andre Sink.
What are they doing to us?
Here's Vlad Ascoli, Lucas Schwarzbauer, and then we have Guido Framont.
And you can see the dust just coating the bodies and the eyes. A brutal day to be racing. Humidity over 80% here in Brazil. There's Andre Sink. He's had some hard days in the saddle as well, the Czech.
Yeah, and still a podium rider last year.
Max Feudel with Lars Forster.
But the strength in depth. There's riders that have had podiums, World Cup wins in the top, scraping to be in the top 20. There's U23 champs coming through, riding in the top 10.
What a generation.
It's like it's almost like the young guys and still the established guys are in the same race. There's no drop-off.
It's one of those brilliant points in the diagram where 2 lines overlap, and we've got a fantastic mixture at the minute on the start sheets, and they're putting on a show here today.
Who is going to win this race?
Place your bets now.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
I go for that 2nd guy here, Victor Koretsky.
Over the line. You're going to go Koretsky?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's yours?
I'll go Vidari.
Dubot.
Okay. Oh, right, here we go then. Now it's a bike race. Andreasen, 13th.
It's only Joshua Dibot who's taking a little bit of support.
It's getting seriously congested out there as they head on to the final lap here in Mairiporã. 1 hour and nearly 20 minutes cannot separate them. Koretsky leads them up the asphalt climb. Onto the dirt for the last time. Into the forest they go.
It was interesting. It was only Joshua Dubot who came in for a last lap bottle. Everyone else went straight through. He was still keeping the cooling, but here we go. It's going to start winding up from here.
Up the inside of Blevins.
So Schwarzbauer came back to that leading group. The last rider here.
I think he's happy at the back. He's done. He's cool. He's just on for the ride.
What a shift he's put in.
Koretsky leading here on that PEM track for the last time.
Colombo, then Vidari. then Blevins, then Debo.
Blevins looking good.
Blevins up the inside of Vidari now, his teammate.
Really good.
Blevins looking calm, he's cool, he's been in the right place. He hasn't been like Saru drifting off the back. He's never got dropped really from that front group. Here we go. Who's going to take it on first?
It's anyone's guess.
Sebastian Finney stretching his back for the final lap.
Cameron Orr, British rider, 29th at the moment. Good ride for him, moving up from 44 on the number board.
British Olympic spot, of course.
Yeah.
Also to play for, but this has been an absolute thriller today. And there's still the last lap to play for. Look at the group.
They're coming back all together again. And that's here's Nino Schurter.
There is Nino Schurter getting a big cheer as he rolls through the start-finish area. 34th now.
But he's so covered in dust, you can hardly even see the sponsor names.
Yeah.
It's just a big brown skin suit.
I'll tell you what, that takes guts from Schurter today. That's a big ride.
I expect an attack of one of these riders very shortly. It doesn't take that long anymore.
Yeah, Bart's attack and Tenna are twinging.
Sam Gaze behind
somebody is going to have a dig at the front of this one.
Tito Agarot behind Nino Schurter, the French champion.
Colombo, Blevins, Vidari, Debo. Can you remember a last lap of as many riders at the front of this one?
I think it never happened before, to be honest. On sections like this, we can expect attacks of one of the riders.
Last lap, Colombo, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
it
looks like Koretsky is keeping the pace high. And there's a small gap behind Vidaure, Martin Vidaure.
But 3 specialised in that front four.
Josh yeah.
5.
Debo, this is as far back down the group as we've seen him in a lap or so. As they head to this big drop.
But I think someone's going to launch it before that steep ascent. That would be a good spot. Then we've got the second climb after the rock garden.
Gears is still in amongst this, you know.
Vlad Daskely over there in that chasing group.
He's coming back again.
Yeah, this.
It's tough to commentate on this. I just actually want to sit back and enjoy it because we're heading for an absolutely
pressing on now. The acceleration's coming.
Bruising finale to this one. Koretsky pushes and so does Vidari. These two have unfinished business from short track. Vidari beats Koretsky up the climb. Colombo's got the message and is heading with them. Their teammate Blevins is still there in contention as well on fourth wheel. Martin Vidari, the Chilean national champion, leads them up this part of the climb.
And Colombo up the outside, whether he's going to take the lead or not, but it's all getting super cagey.
He is still just turning a big gear.
Vidaure is doing the work. Pushing hard here.
Greer as well.
Yeah, he came back.
Martin Vidari rides on impulse, rides on instinct, and he senses his first UCI cross-country World Cup Olympic win here. Filippo Colombo up this tough climb. Blevins up there as well, takes the rock on, clears it. Vidari, Debo, they're all up there clean. He can gaze up there, get up there cleanly this time. He can then. Dascalu, Avondetto in there as well.
That was impressive, all of them riding it that lap.
Blevins over that big rock on the left.
Yeah. Even over that rock.
Yeah. But if he can ride over that rock section now, he's still got some energy left.
Yeah, and also all with a big gear. He didn't shift back at all.
That was
Filippo Colombo, number 34 on his back, leading now. Koretsky close to him. Vidaure, what can he do? Is he able to win his first World Cup in the elite man category?
Koretsky almost folding the front wheel there. He had to make a quick sharp break to avoid hitting Colombo, grab the front wheel.
Asked a lot of that front wheel. Colombo.
Heavily coming through, good ride. Happy with that.
Colombo's won 2 elite short tracks in the past, but never a cross-country Olympics, so he's going for a PB as well.
And Blevins, great short track rider. When he won his world championships, he's smart.
Yeah.
Look at the sprint.
Look at the effort now.
Here we go.
Koretsky going for it. Colombo tries to cover it off, but the Frenchman to the front now. The pace picking up as they head for the second tech feed zone. The group begins to stretch.
I think Vidare in fourth, just getting distanced a little bit there.
Blevins is in third at the minute. Christopher Blevins is starting to look really strong now, you know, the Durango native.
Vidari just off the back, DeBow just getting distanced a little bit as well.
Vidari digging deep to stay with this group.
Yeah, almost at the beginning of that long climb, the last big climb of this course.
But this next climb is going to be ballistic.
That one. Yeah,
this is the toughest climb of the race, almost the last climb.
All of a sudden, it feels like it's a group of 4.
Here we go.
Koretsky lines it up.
This is where we saw Jenny Risveds in the women's race to launch her attack.
And here comes Blevins, tries to go around the outside of Colombo. Blevins still has matches to burn here, you know.
Yeah, Colombo blocked the road a little bit for Blevins.
Still not splitting.
Vidal on 4th. Saru here, 5th now.
We need to get a camera on Benno Villa at the minute. He won't be able to watch this.
I think it's
Saru, DeBow, is Avendetto.
Joshua DeBow. Passed by Sam Gase.
DeBow's cracked.
DeBow has cracked, the first to blink.
Saru's gone past him.
Blevins.
Oof.
Blevins leading. First place, Koretsky.
Koretsky looked like he was struggling then. He was just rolling all over the bike
Saru, Marta Vidaure.
Wow.
You cannot take your eyes off this for a second.
That attack from Blevins did some damage.
Yep. Blevins, you saw, try to move past Colombo on that climb, but the steepest part of it was just an indicator that he does have some energy to burn. And now out in front, Christopher Blevins is gone here.
Filippo Colombo on 2nd.
Christopher Blevins.
He's leading.
Wow.
What a ride from Christopher Blevins. Can the American grab a win at the first time of asking in cross-country Olympic?
He did it in snowshoe some years ago.
But last year, not at this level at all. Come back super strong, Olympic year.
Yep, snowshoe in the rain. 2021, the last time that Christopher Blevins tasted cross-country Olympic gold.
And he's super fast. All these guys are fast, but Blevins is
Filippo Colombo on 2nd.
Oh, it's close.
Colombo needs to get a wriggle on here if he wants to stop.
Still
Christopher
a long way.
Blevins collecting career win number 2 in cross-country Olympic.
It's looking strong.
Yeah, and that attack, Koretsky went first, then Blevins over the top, and you could just see Koretsky almost crack and just roll over the handlebars. You've got this techie descent
There is
now.
Filippo Colombo on 2nd place. He's not that far off in that steep descent.
He hasn't given up yet.
Not at all. Followed by the drone.
You can still see him. He hasn't got out of sight.
Oh. Colombo.
It's about half a kilometre now. It's kind of false flat. It could come back.
Absolutely burying
some
himself
time to come
back to this attack of Christopher Blevins.
It's less than 4 seconds what's on screen.
Yeah. And this bit now, it's really deceptive. You have to stay on the gas, and there's one little climb which is actually quite stiff. These guys have been flying up a bit. It's tough.
The 26-year-old from Colorado.
There is Colombo.
Yeah.
Needs to stay concentrated.
But also
here.
Koretsky is not that far off.
No, he's recovering well.
Oh,
Colombo falters in the left-hand corner. Could that be just the ticket for Christopher Blevins?
Saru now 4, Vidare 5.
Has a good long look back.
Oh,
Colombo hands them in the middle of the bars. Going for absolutely, look at the effort on Koretsky. Saru's there, Vidare's there.
What a last lap. It's so close.
They blast through the forest for the last time on lap 7 out of 7 and what has been...
And Jordan through again as 2nd French rider.
Yeah, what has been one of the most enchanting, unmissable World Cups in a long time in cross-country. And we still can't pick a winner.
Koretsky very close to Filippo Colombo in front of him. He is on 3rd.
And Saru closing the gap to them. It could be a 4-man sprint for 2nd place. Or for the field, for the win.
Blevins leads the way.
One descent.
Sticks the tongue out. Tastes blood.
Unbelievable.
The 2nd and 3rd place is still open. This is the first block.
Christopher Blevins looks over his shoulder. Points behind him. Christopher Blevins is set to take the win. In Mairiporã, Brazil, they're sprinting for 2nd place. It doesn't matter to Blevins. Behind him It's Koretsky. Victor Koretsky pips Filippo Colombo, then Saru, then Vidari. Blevins from Koretsky, from Colombo, your top three. Christopher Blevins collects a career second elite cross-country Olympic World Cup. Sam Gaze belts home, just pipped at the line by Simone Avendetto. 8th place goes to Alan Haverly. Toma Creo goes 9th. Vlad Descalu 10th. What a race. Lukas Schwarzbauer just outside the top 10 is cooked. Behind them, Dubois absolutely just emptied at the last. 12th place for Dubois, bitter disappointment. Brido 13th, Defuamo 14th. Christopher Blevins takes the win in Mairiporã. Jens Sherman's 15th, Simon Andreasen 16th. Specialized Factory Racing take the first win of 2024 in the Elite Men's Cross Country Olympic. Andre Sink, Lars Forster, Max Feudal 19th. There's Benno Willa.
Specialized 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Apologies if you heard any language there, but emotions running high down in the finish area. Specialized Factory Racing's Christopher Blevins, the national champion of the United States of America, stuns the UCI World Cup field.
Galinski
takes a top 20 at the UCI World Cup in Brazil, just ahead of Mateusz Flukiger in his 100th UCI World Cup start in 21st. Then it's Leston Kolealitap. Blevins congratulated by Gaze, a really, really popular character down there, Bart. Whoa, have you got time to, have you managed to put some words together for that one yet?
Oh, the way how he managed it, incredible.
Absolutely unreal performance from Blevins, from not really featuring at the front of the race for so much of it.
Stars and stripes, he did it.
The turning point, you feel, was whenever he got past Saru and Gaze quickly and continued on to that front
Look
group.
at that finish time.
1.5 hours.
Exactly
On the nose. Simon Burney will be happy with that one.
What a race.
There they are, the team, Specialized Factory Racing.
1, 2 and 5. Nice podium for Specialized Factory Racing.
Koretsky happy with that as well, fastest Frenchman.
There comes Nino Schurter.
Nino Schurter rolls home in 35th. Not his day today, which is not often you get to say in cross-country racing. Vidari and Blevins. Slightly happier conversation than yesterday's encounters, but Specialized Factory Racing did the business. Christopher Blevins. It was in some very, very different conditions. Snowshoe, West Virginia. He got his first one, but the second one, every bit as satisfying. Behind him, look how close it was for
really
second
close
place.
Christopher Blevins starting the season with some authority, mate. What a race. Talk us through it.
I mean, man, so surreal. It's just kind of in a daze right now. This sport's just so beautiful, you know? I mean, like, when you're on days like that, there's no place I'd rather be in the world, you know? And it's, yeah, it's, you know, such a feeling. I came through this start lap, I don't know what place, 30th or something, and today I was just going to ride my own race. I had a really bad short track yesterday, and I think it's a lesson in, like, in this sport, you really just got to listen to your body, and you can always get more out of it than you think sometimes. Yeah.
You were looking cool, calm and composed, even though you were slightly off the back on that start loop. Tell us what was going through your mind when the fight was coming at you at that last lap or two.
Yeah, it was a really interesting race. Like, it eased up more than I thought. You know, I mean, when we came through on the last lap, it probably looked like the start lap with that string of people. But I knew I could just sit in position, wait, and I always trust my last card I can play, which is just that kick. So, but yeah, you know, it was beautiful. It played right in my favor.
describe the feeling for me right now to start the season with such a win like that. You've got your entire team on the podium with you. Just tell us what that feels like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've dreamt about a day like this since we all got on the same team. I mean, I don't know if this has happened in mountain bike history, 3 on the same team, at least not in the recent future. So I love these boys. I love this team around me, and I didn't think today could be my day, but like I said, man, you just got to always believe in yourself, and really anything is possible.
Congratulations, mate. Amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, Brazil, you're awesome. Hope we come back every year.
You would say that, wouldn't you, after that performance? Christopher Blevins, second fastest lap of the race as well, with 11:01 bar on the last lap.
Must be the last lap, yes.
Yeah, the winner of that competition, Vlad Dascalu, on lap 4 with a 10:57, under the 11-minute mark, the only man to do it.
Oh, but what a win for Christopher Blevins here in Mairiporã.
One of the very best UCI cross-country Olympic World Cup races we've seen. They stayed together for the whole race.
That's Nino Schurter, covered in dust.
Well, he looks like he's moving okay.
Yeah.
You can see the mud pouring out that helmet. That's been a big one, you know.
Thomas Frischknecht, team manager, next to him.
The medic just waved away there. Nino's all right. Christopher Blevins then takes the win by just 2 seconds from Victor Koretsky, Filippo Colombo, and then Jordan Saru, Vidari, Avendetto, Gaius, Haverly, Grillo, Dascalu. 29 seconds covering the top 10. Nothing.
Yeah, Vlad Dascalu, he had that fastest lap time in the last lap.
Schwarzbauer, Dubois, Brido, De Foimont, Shermans, Andreasen, Sink, Forster, Feudal, 19th. Galinski, what a story that is, in 20th, the Brazilian. Then Flukiger on his 100th appearance list.
Nino Schurter, 35th.
Schurter in 35th. Again, apologies for the language. Christopher Blevins. Still struggling to process this one. It might take a while to sink in.
Mike, the performance manager of the Specialized Racing.
Great to see that. Just what it means to the team. And Specialized, they've had a bit of something about them all weekend. I've no idea how they managed to put a highlights package of this one together, but let's have a crack at it anyway. Vidari led them off the start line.
Yeah, a good start for Martin Vidauer. Together with Victor Koretsky as well on 3rd place. The Specialized riders in the beginning of the race.
Then, Andreasen. Sam Gaius had that little topple over at the top of the really steep climb on the start loop. And then, the usual first lap chaos. Riders struggling for positions on the really steep sections. And I mean, you look at the gaps between the riders here, they didn't really change much over 7 laps. There was Nino Schurter, cutting a bit of a despondent yet still focused figure after that crash. And as I say, fully covered, so we do reckon it was a big one. Vidari, really one of the more aggressive performances. Koretsky just lost the front end there, but lost absolutely no speed in doing so. Dubois looked to be in the final stages the strongest man in the mix, only to implode really on the last lap.
The race was a little bit too long for him in the last lap. He lost a lot of places.
1 lap too long for Joshua Dubois.
But Jordan Swu, who was in the back of that group, he finished as a 2nd French rider in this race.
But as you can see, Blevins joined the front group. Again, Gaius struggled with that awkward climb.
It definitely was a bottleneck in the race for these riders all the time, fighting for their positions constantly.
Vidari then got through from that aerial shot, but really they were trading places back and forth at the front. On the last lap then, Koretsky kicked Vidari, covered it off. The 2 Specialized factory racing riders going at it hammer and tongs, but all the while Christopher Blevins, through your shot now, moved up into 3rd place. And then at the top of this climb, Blevins launched this attack on the left-hand side of the climb.
And it was a long climb, that last one on this course.
And finally the group split and left the rider from Durango, Colorado to celebrate his 2nd UCI World Cup cross-country Olympic win.
And it was Koretsky who finished second in the sprint finish against Filippo Colombo.
Christopher Blevins takes the win in Mairiporã, Brazil. What a race that was. Absolutely. Bart, if we're going to be treated to that every round this year, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, it was actually the whole weekend, all the races we saw.
Incredible.
I mean, short track yesterday.
Well,
Ulan Galinski from Brazil.
Great ride from him. Henrik Avancini will be very, very happy.
Riding for the Caloi, Henrik Avancini Racing.
Here's Victor.
Victor Koretsky to the line. That was a battle like we have not seen in years. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a super tactic race today. We managed really perfect, really well. Chris was a bit behind at the beginning, but we just had a slowdown at the middle of the race just to help Chris to close the gap, and then he was on the front group with us. So yeah, then Martin was in super good shape too, and Chris was super impressive on the last lap. Then I just let Filippo try to close the gap to don't close the gap front of Chris. So I just overtake him on the last straight line on the grass, and we finish first, second, and fourth, I think. So yeah, that's perfect. We won the team overall. It's amazing. I don't know about also the individual overall, but I think we are all on top 5. So that's amazing, and we can't wait now the next weekend. And I'm so proud of Chris because he had two hard last year. He had 2 years super tough, and now he's back on the front and on the podium. So he managed really perfectly, and I'm so proud of him. And also it's the first podium of Martin, so yeah, it's amazing, and we just enjoy now.
Enjoy, congratulations, well done.
Thank you, thanks a lot. That's perfect.
Extremely interesting there, Bart. He said they held the pace up at the front so Christopher could rejoin that front group after a slower start. So maybe we are seeing the team tactics entering cross-country racing.
That's what you can do if you have a strong team like Specialized Racing has. So it always helps. It's great to see that.
Strength in numbers from Specialized Factory Racing.
But such a tight racing today.
There he is, the man himself, Peter Sagan, here with the team.
Hope to see him back very shortly on the bike.
Great to see him at a bike race after what he's been through lately. Here is Colombo.
Filippo Colombo, welcome back to the podium, mate. What a return and what a start to 2024.
Yeah, exactly. I really worked super hard this winter throughout my injury on the elbow, and yeah, I'm super stoked to be back in the podium, fighting for the victories until the last lap. It's a shame, but yeah, the Blevins was super strong, and I knew I tried everything what I could, and but as I said, super happy to be back.
It's fantastic to see you here. Well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
There we go. Big performance from Filippo.
I mean, they're almost all equal in strength when it comes down.
What a generation of racers. They just all seem to be hitting the same peaks.
When it comes down to the last lap, who has still a little bit energy left, who take the best care about himself for the whole race, to cool himself down. All these little things that make the difference at the end.
Well, if you ever needed an advert for UCI cross-country Olympic World Cup racing, that was it. The world's best, going bar to bar and elbow to elbow for an hour and a half out there. Martin Vidari looks like he could get back on the bike and go out and do another few laps, Bart.
it's great to see him on the podium.
Yeah, this will be emotional. This will mean a lot to him. The whole family are here. His father, his coach. A load of Chilean fans.
The third place in short track and now the fifth in the cross-country Olympic.
Jordan Sarrou may just be in for the overall title this year, Bart. These are the days you win them on, the tough days. Good hatful of points in fourth place.
He didn't have his best race, maybe, but
still on the podium.
And again, the second French best rider.
Yeah.
If it comes down to the Olympics.
This man, well, he was in the wars last year. He could only dream of this moment, but all those hours of training and heartache paying off. Filippo Colombo back on the box.
And Scott Schramm, again, a rider on the podium.
Yep.
If it's not Nino, Filippo Colombo does it.
Well, Frisch will be happy with that. Frisch will take that. He's pragmatic. Viktor Koretsky congratulates the rest of the top five. Second place today for Koretsky. Fastest Frenchman. I think, again, if you'd offered him that at the start of the weekend, he'd probably have bitten your hand off. Not literally, obviously, that would be horrible. But here is your winner. The man himself, Chris Blevins. What a race he rode. Dug his way back to one of the fastest moving races we've ever seen. Got to the front, kept going. Blevins, absolutely superb. It was a performance fitting of the win. Chris Blevins takes victory in Mairiporã. The podium then, Blevins, Koretsky, Colombo, Sarrou and Vidari. 3 specialised factory racing riders on the podium, alongside a Scott Schramm MTB representative and one from BMC.
And now time for the champagne.
Well earned and well deserved in the baking heat outside Sao Paulo. Five very, very happy racers heading into the second weekend of action. Only a few days to wait before we do it all again in Arasha.
Yeah, busy days these weeks.
Yeah, I need to get packed.
And travel.
I've got a 4 a.m. shuttle to get to. But you wouldn't have it any other way. Christopher Blevins then. Here are the standings for the elite men. Blevins, Koretsky, Gaze, Colombo, Vidari, Sarrou, Schwarzbauer, Avendetto, Haverly and Dubois in 10th. So 16 points between Blevins and Koretsky after 2 opportunities to win them. Descalu's 11th, then Griot, Shermans, Andreasen, De Foimont, Forster, Brido, Sink, Matthias Flukiger 19th. So still in the top 20, Flukiger. As we see the replay of the podium celebrations. You know, after the short track, all the focus was on that Koretsky-Vidari relationship. They were in the sort of the front of the conversation, and they were in the front of this race for a long time as well. And
it's also maybe Christopher Blevins didn't have his best short track yesterday, which normally actually is a discipline what suits him really well. But it means not everything. No. I mean, if you are not strong on Saturday, it doesn't mean that you are not good on the Sunday race.
This is true, and there is the reward.
The leader's jersey.
Jordan Saru, hard-fought battle today, but you're on the podium at the end of the race. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was a hard battle. I took my pace because the first few laps I didn't feel so great, but I didn't go in the red zone. I took my pace and then overtake people and catch the front group. It was quite physical, really physical, but also tactical. And the last lap was mental. It was battle in the head. You don't have to think about the pain and go full gas until the finish line. And so stoked about the podium today.
4th place, congratulations, well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, I think Saru's clever enough to know that was a good performance.
Yeah, good finish he had, but he said he didn't blow up in the beginning. With a strong finish.
We said it as well when he got onto the back of that front group. He didn't burn the matches trying to get to the front of it. He took a lap and a half and just kind of sat in.
Rode his own pace and came back to the leaders.
Yeah.
And when it came down to the last lap, he had still something left.
Such a clever racer, Saru.
He's always there. It's amazing. Very consistent.
Martin, 2 races, 2 podiums. Is this a sign of things to come? Tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was a great day. So special to be with all the team on the podium. It's just different to race with all your teammates in the front. Like, you don't know what to do. So it's new. It's great. Again, being in Brazil, having a World Cup here in South America is just so nice. And podium twice, nobody thought about it. So it's good. I'm happy. And yeah, still a long season, so we will see.
Congratulations, mate. Fantastic effort. We'll see you next weekend.
Okay, thank you, guys.